Programming language Ruby. Alam natin na marami ng programming language na sikat ngayon, ginagamit na, and yung iba naman, pinagkakakitaan na rin ng maraming programming language. But ngayon, magpo-focus po tayo sa Ruby programming language. Magbibigay po tayo ng konting background about kung saan siya nagmula and yung example ng mga kung ano yung gamit niya sa field ng IT. Okay. Ruby. Sinasabi na yung Ruby is a dynamic, reflective, object-oriented, and general-purpose programming language. So, kabilang din siya sa mga programming language na ginagamit nowadays. Then, in the mid-1990, designed and developed ni Yukihiro Matsumoto in Japan. So, Japanese po ang nag-build ng Ruby. So, inspired talaga siya. Then, Ruby is a language of careful balance, and ang other programmer, they called Ruby as a transparent language. Siguro kasi sa mga nabasa ko, it's because yung Ruby daw ginawa siya dahil na-inspired si Matsumoto sa iba-ibang na-build din na programming language. Next. Yan. According to its author, Ruby was influenced by, sa tingin nyo, ano kaya yung mga top 5 na na-search ko na nag-influence para ma-build or magawa si Ruby? So, ito si Perl and Smalltalk, si Eiffel and Ada. I know, you know Ada. Yun po yung sa panggera na programming. Kaya, yun dun siya nagamit. And the last is Lisp. Yan. It support multiple programming paradigm, including functional, object-oriented, and imperative. It also has a dynamic type system and automatic memory management. Yan. Ito naman, dalawa talaga daw yung naisip na name para kay Ruby. So, ang una nga ay Ruby. Sa tingin nyo, ano kaya yung isa? Yan. Ito yung coral. But, syempre, may purpose kung bakit Ruby yung pinili niya. And it's because Ruby, it was a birthstone of one of his colleges. Kaya niya napili po yung Ruby. Then, syempre, hindi mawawala yung first publication kung saan unang lumabas sa market yung Ruby programming language. Ayan. The first public release of Ruby 0.95 was announced on Japanese domestic news group on December 25, 1995. And subsequently, 3 more versions of Ruby were released in 2 days. So, ganun talaga siya kabilis. Parang nag-update. Yan. So, ito naman po yung list ng mga kailan yung month niya nag-release and year na nag-release yung Ruby. So, yung Ruby 1.0, December 25, 1996. Ruby 1.2, December 1998. Ruby 1.4, August 1999. Ruby 1.6, September 2000. So, you can see na magkakadikit lang po yung pagre-release po nila ng mga bagong version ng Ruby. Then, the next is Ruby 1.8, August 2003. Ruby 1.9, December 2007. And February 2013 for the 2.0 Ruby. And the last is the Ruby 2.1, December 2013. So, yun po yung pinaka-latest. So, this is the features of the Ruby. I have researched 24, but I only include the top 10. So, the first is thoroughly object-oriented with inheritance, maxims, and meta-classes. The second one is everything is an expression, even statement, and even is executed imperatively, even declaration. The third one is literal notation for arrays, hashes, regular expression, and symbols. The next one is the default arguments. The fifth is garbage collection. The sixth is first class continuation. The next one is exception handling. The next one is operator overloading. 9 is custom dispatch behavior. And the last one is the implemented on all major platforms. And then I have also researched features, but ito nanggaling to sa mga programmers na nag-comment kung ano ba talaga yung mga features ng Ruby. So sila naka-use na ng Ruby programming language. Ruby has exception handling features like Java or Python to make it easy to handle errors. So, gaya nga na sabi ko, na-inspired talaga yung gumawa ng Ruby. Parang inadapt niya nga yung mga iba-ibang programming language and pinagsama-sama sa isang parang box ganun. Then, second one is Ruby feature a true mark and sweep garbage collector for all Ruby objects. No need to maintain reference count in extension libraries. As Matt say, this is better for your health. The next one is writing C extension in Ruby is easier than in Perl or Python, with a very elegant API for calling Ruby from C. This includes calls for embedding Ruby in software used as a scripting language. A Swig interface is also available. Ruby can also extension libraries dynamically if an OS allows. So, ginagamit na rin siya sa yung mga OS sa ating mga laptops. Ruby feature OS independent threading, thus for all platform on which Ruby runs. You also have multi-threading regardless of it the OS supports it or not, even on MS-DOS. And Ruby highly portable. It is developed mostly on GNU Linux but works on many types of Linux, Mac OS, Windows 95, 98, and etc. Ayan. Ito naman yung difference daw ng Ruby to the other language. And ito ay kinompare nila sa C or Perl. So, number 1, the language syntax is sensitive to the capitalization of identifiers. In all cases, treating capitalized variables as constant. Class and module name are constant and refer object derived from class and module. The second one is version prior to 1.9 use plain integers to represent single characters, much like C. So, yun nga yung pagkakamukha niya daw pagkakaiba niya dun sa C or Perl. Yan. Ito naman, difference din siya, pero parang sa lahat daw to the whole other language daw. The usual operator for conditional expression and or do not follow the normal rules of precedence and does not bind tighter than or. Ruby also have expression operation or an and that work as expected. Ito naman, nabasa ko to sa isang article na as of 2010, there is a number alternative implementation of Ruby, including JRuby, Jubinius, MagJev, Iron Ruby, MacRuby, and its iOS counterpart, Ruby Motion. So, ginagamit na rin siya sa MacBook. Okay. A different approach with Iron Ruby, JRuby, MacRuby, and Ruby News providing just-in-time compilation, and MacRuby and MRuby also providing ahead-of-time compilation. So, yun nga, may pagkakaiba sila, yung just-in-time compilation and the ahead-of-time compilation. So, ito, classic hello world example. So, dito na po yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na magbibigay tayo ng example on how to encode using Ruby programming language. Yan. So, you will input hello world. Yan. Ito yung parang ano niya, yung description niya. Everything, including a literal, is an object. So, this work. Oh, yan. Yan. And yan. So, yan yung gagamitin na code. The next one is the conversion. So, ito naman, kung paano daw niya co-convert daw yung isang digits to a bigger number. Yan. The next one is, ito naman, blocks and iterations. Yan. Put hello world. So, meron siyang open and close curly bracket. Or, ayun daw siya, yung asterisk. Or, do put hello world. The next one is the classes. So, ito, kilala po natin si classes kasi sa Java, diba, ginagamit siya lang na doon sa unahan. So, parang siya yung pinaka-main class. Siya yung pinaka-father, kumbaga, kasi doon talaga nakapaloob lahat ng program na gagawin natin. So, sa Ruby, ganito po siya. Ayan, class person. Ayan. Ayan, tas meron din sa baba yung person new. Parang yun dun na sa pag system.out.print Bob, tapos yung age. Yan, parang ganun lang yun. The next one is the string. String, alam din natin kasi yun yung parang pinaka alphabet sa Java. Yan, kaso ganito lang siya sinusulat sa Ruby. Ayan, this is a double-quoted string block. So, ganyan siya sinusulat. Masyadong complicated nga kasi marami siyang ginagamit na characters. Ayan. Meron din po ako na-research na about Ruby growth. Ruby is ranked among the top 10 on the most of the indices that measure the growth and popularity of programming language worldwide, such as the TIOBE index. Much of the growth is attributed to the popularity of software written in Ruby, particularly the Ruby on Rails web framework. So, dito lang natin makikita naman natin sa yan yung nakasulat na bar graph na kilala talaga yung Ruby. Hindi siya yung parang yung iba na parang pichugi lang ganyan kasi nasa top 10 most of in this siya. Ayan. Ruby is also completely free, so you can download it free and you can use it anywhere, and pwede mo rin siyang i-distribute or i-share to other computers or other programmer na alam kung paano gamitin yung Ruby programming language. So, ito po yung aking reference. Yan. So, thank you so much po. Hope meron po kayong natutunan kahit paano. Thank you po and God bless.